never tried. You aren't any match for me, you dog.
Yep. And we are coming in.
Hi, this is Michael Buffer, and let's get ready for EJ Boxing Live. Sing along if you know the words.
Message to all the fans watching it, wish them a Merry Christmas, and also why should they watch the fight?
You should watch this fight because this is what boxing's all about. This is about putting your O on the line. This is about putting what you believe on the line. You think you can win? Step up in the big fights and let's see it. You can talk the talk, but when the lights come on and you walk out the O2 Arena into a little ring 20 foot by 20 foot to fight another man, this is the pureness of the sport. Why boxing is the greatest sport in the world, bar none. Let's build the hype, let's watch the excitement, and let's see the purity of British boxing explode and unfold February the 3rd, O2 Arena.
Thanks very much, Eddie.
He comes to undisputed champion.
I'm not going in there for the knockout.
Hello! You're not going in for the knockout, you're just going to take your time.
No, he's going to knock him out.
He's going to knock him out, Tyson.
Sure, one round.
One round? I don't know. He's never been stopped though, Tyson.
If Huey can't knock him out in a round, it means Huey's shit.
Hey, Tyson said your shit.
So what? Do you reckon? Cannon Briggs, Anthony Joshua, Lloyd Hunnigan.
That's right.
Yeah?
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. You got the three champs right here. You got the three champs right here, boy.
Let's go, champ.
Let's go, champ. Looking at the three champs right here. Champ, boy. Welterweight, two-time middleweight, and future heavyweight.
What's the deal? Is the champ Shannon the Cannon, and I'm with Anthony Joshua and the great Lloyd Hunnigan. Can I get a let's go, champ from y'all, please? Let's go, champ. Ah, you can't beat that. Let's go, champ. Yeah. Come on, yeah.
I'm gonna handle my business, trust me, you know what I'm saying? Keep on doing what you're doing.
Let's go, champ.
All right, let's get into it. So, this is a big test, or maybe not, maybe. How many rounds do you reckon you're gonna go the full distance, or
you never know. You got to approach every fight that way, round by round. You know what I mean? And then that's what the beauty of heavyweight boxing is. Once you start landing shots from round 1 through to round 4, 5, it takes its toll.
Yeah.
Do you know where I'm coming from? So I plan for it to go the distance, but if it don't, then that's the route we took.
Are you ready to go the distance in terms of that? Are you gonna like you say, you're gonna pace yourself to take your time as round by round?
I'll go the distance. I'm not gonna do after round 5 start blowing out my ass.
Yeah, that's what everyone.
I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? It might be tough to go 10 rounds. I've never been there before, but I've got the mental strength to absorb the punishment that my body's gonna go through by going someplace I've never been in a fight. But we do it day in day in the gym, so I'm sure I'll be able to withstand the pressure of going an extra 3 rounds.
EJ Boxing Live here with my co-host Kyle Byrne. What's up, Kyle?
What's going on, EJ?
Everything's good, man. You know what I'm saying? We got this breaking news here we're going to cover today. It's official. Jake Paul will be fighting Floyd Mayweather on February the 20th. It's an exhibition fight. We don't know all the details involved in the fight. What's your first reaction to just hearing that?
Well, I was trying to tell people after seeing those pretty good numbers that came out about the Jake Paul and Nate Robinson, I was telling people Floyd is going to take this fight, man, because this Logan Paul kid, as well as his brother, these dudes amassed over 40 million subscribers, you know, throughout the social media platforms combined, man. So it's a huge money fight as far as notoriety and popularity. You know, you got Floyd going in there being the best fighter in this generation, going up against probably the most popular guy outside of maybe PewDiePie or KSI or somebody like that, going up against this guy with a huge social media backing. So it's an exhibition fight, and it's going to garner a lot of pay-per-view buys, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think so as well. I think this is the way forward, my man. Apple type. Oh, what's going on, Apple type, man? How you doing, bro? Dude, this is ridiculous. But Apple type, man, this is the money, bro. This is about making that money, bro. And me and Kyle, hey, everyone loves getting paid now. And you know, Floyd, really, truly, this is like stealing money from the bank, man. You know what I mean? And after seeing the Mike Tyson, Floyd looks at Mike Tyson because they kind of competitive. He's like, yo, you know what? I'm gonna look at this. Okay, you fight Ray Jones. I'm gonna fight one of them YouTubers and get paid, and it's easier fight. Now Floyd don't care about being credit. Floyd cares about getting paid, and he gonna get paid with Jay. I think they can. Do you think this thing will eclipse the McGregor fight?
I think that fight went over like 4.6, if I'm not mistaken, 4.6 million pay-per-view buys. I don't think it'll be that much because Conor McGregor was an action star. You know, in the UFC, he had a really huge following as far as combat sports with Logan Paul. This guy has like 2 fights professionally. I think he lost both, or he drew one and then he lost the second one against KSI. So I think it will garner, probably because he and KSI, the first fight was at like 1.3 million, and I think the second fight was at 1.2. So I think Floyd will add an extra million to that. So we looking at probably like 2.5 million pay-per-view buys or something like that.
Yeah, I think so. I'm gonna watch it. Apple type not on it. I like all the exhibitions, man. Boxing's always been had an exhibition back in the days, you know. John L. Sullivan used to do plays and pantomimes when he was the champion. So did what's his name again? Gentleman Jim Corbett when the heavyweight championship was stagnant and there was nothing else going on. And you know, Errol Spence, we can have competitive fights with Errol Spence and Danny Garcia, which we might get into a bit later. But this fight here, I feel, you know, as an exhibition, you know, they're gonna put on a fight. There's no loser, you know, as far as we know. You know what I mean? Let's say they change it from exhibition to actually competitive fight. That's more on it, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think exhibition, Floyd doesn't have to worry about his you can still make a little money, you know, no one gets hurt. But you know, that wasn't he supposed to be exhibition when that Japanese guy was that supposed to be exhibition as well?
Yeah, that was an exhibition. They didn't count that towards his actual fighting record.
But he knocked that guy out. Didn't he knock that guy out?
Yeah, that dude started crying and all that stuff. So a lot of people figured that it was staged, but I mean, this guy, you know, nobody never heard of this guy outside of Japan. So, I mean, Floyd went over there. He saw an opportunity to make a few $1 million. He went over there and got a few $1 million, man, in an easy fight. So Floyd is a capitalist, and he's about the money. I mean, that's why his name is Money Mayweather. So, I mean, whenever he can see that he can make a quick buck, you know, easy money, he's going to go take that, man. Like you alluded to just a few seconds ago when you talked about the Mike Tyson versus Roy Jones situation. Like he saw that fight had a lot of nostalgia and interest around it. You know, it sold over one.
Go ahead, Kyle. You there?
1.5, 1.6 million pay-per-view buys. So he'll be able to capitalize probably a little more than what Mike Tyson and Roy Jones did, man. So yeah, it's a big money fight for Floyd Mayweather and Logan Paul as well. Like this guy's gonna make a lot of money too, man.
Yeah, no, I was making the point that Floyd was supposed to have an exhibition with that Japanese guy, but didn't Floyd stop him? So in the exhibition, you're not supposed to stop a guy.
I believe he did, yeah.
Yeah, so that was an exhibition.
I mean, the Nate Robinson and Jake Paul fight was an exhibition, and Nate Robinson got knocked smooth out.
Was that exhibition? Was that supposed to be exhibition?
The whole fight card, because remember, EJ, before the actual fight day, they kept switching the rules. It went from having headgear to this and that, and then once they saw, you know, those other fights go on, then they removed the headgear and all of that stuff, and they allowed them guys to fight. You know what I'm saying? Like, granted, they weren't trying to hurt each other. I think in this fight right here, these guys are actually going to try to hurt each other. Just imagine if Logan Paul knocked out Floyd Mayweather. The amount of attention and notoriety this dude would get, like, they'll make a movie about this dude if he was able to pull that off. Even at Floyd's advanced age, you know what I'm saying? They'll still, like, get this dude the praise and adulation for knocking out the best fighter in this generation. This guy's a YouTuber. He's not even supposed to be in a ring with Floyd Mayweather. And if he can knock
Yeah, if he could knock Floyd out, if he knocked Floyd like Floyd deserves it, he shouldn't have got in the ring. Go ahead, Kai. You still there? I think Kyle's
Floyd
got
out.
technical.
That's going to garner him a lot of notoriety. Can you hear me?
Yeah. You broke out a bit. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no, my bad.
Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I was just saying, man. Like, I mean, if this guy can knock Floyd Mayweather out, dude, he's going to get so much money and notoriety, and he's going to get sponsorships, and because people at the end of the day, they still want to see Floyd Mayweather lose. Like Logan Paul's like 6'2", Floyd's 5'8". Logan Paul's going to go into that fight because I don't think they have a weight stipulation in that fight, so he's going to be able to go in there essentially as a cruiserweight. You know what I'm saying? So he's going to be a lot bigger than Floyd Mayweather, and if he could get inside and get some quality shots off, you know, that'll hurt Floyd Mayweather being a smaller fighter. Even if he doesn't win the fight, if he can at least knock Floyd down once or hurt him, he's going to get praise and adulation just for doing that because he's not even supposed to be in the ring with Floyd Mayweather, man.
Yeah. My man Happotype just jumped on, boy. I'm sure Happotype's going to bring a spin onto this thing. What's going on, my man H? What's going on, bro? What's happening, bro?
What's up, guys? Hope you're doing well. We got a lot of COVID out here. This fight to me is a joke. I'm not falling into the trap this time around. I did it a little bit with the McGregor fight because there you had a legitimate fighter who was, you know, a champion in his sport coming into another sport. And there I could see a little bit of legitimate interest. With this one, I see none of that. I see a money play that's so blatant. It's like a Bernie Madoff scheme. Like they're just grabbing money, and yeah, they're gonna get it, dude. They're gonna get. I'm not trying to deny that they're gonna get you know, the Logan Paul followers that are gonna buy it. They're not gonna get some of the really hardcore Floyd Mayweather followers that are gonna buy it. They're gonna make money, no doubt. From a financial standpoint, I'm not critical, but as in terms of being a boxing fan, to me, this is the biggest joke in the history of boxing. Logan Paul is an 0-1 fighter. There's no way that he's ever going to beat Floyd Mayweather Jr. ever. And, you know, if he lands one or two punches, that's only going to be because Floyd lets that happen just to make it exciting. Like, you know, he's probably going to carry the guy and make him seem like he's something, you know, that he's not. And then whenever Logan Paul really fights a guy that's his weight, that's a real fighter, he's going to possibly get killed in the ring. So I think it's horrible. I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going in on this one. This is probably going to be the only time I even talk about it, just because it's you, EJ. Because I hold myself to a higher standard than this. This is garbage. This is fucking garbage, dude. Excuse my language. Okay. This is garbage. Okay? Like, the fact that Floyd would even do this is ridiculous. Why doesn't he come back and fight? He could fight so many different people that he could fight and make money. Why does it need to be some complete douche? Yeah, he has a big YouTube following. Okay, great. So does Denzel Washington. Why doesn't he fight Denzel Washington?
I watched that. But
Denzel boxes every day. Trust me, I know where he boxes. He boxes at Pound for Pound Gym on La Cienega. I know his trainer. I seen him in there. Believe me, Denzel can box. Why doesn't he box him? Why doesn't he box someone who has a chance? Even Will Smith or Eminem has a better chance than Logan Paul. Logan Paul has no chance whatsoever of doing anything except getting carried for 5 or 6 rounds. Whatever Floyd bets on, like, oh, I'm gonna, he'll be like, this is gonna be a tough fight. He's so much bigger than me. And they're gonna make a story out of it, like, oh, he's so much bigger. He's 6'2". He's 185, 90 pounds. Floyd is this little tiny midget. He's like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. He's saying the plane. And and then Floyd's gonna go in there, carry him for whatever amount of rounds. He's gonna bet on a certain round. He's gonna bet I'm gonna win in the 9th round, and he's gonna knock him out in the 9th round with ease.
All right, man. Let's happle tight, man. H, giving his take. We got Dan the Man boxing. What's up, Dan the Man?
Hey, what's up, y'all? But hey, I gotta say this, man. I agree with Apple type on this one, but at the same time, though, I will say this: it's not surprising this was announced because we knew this was going to happen. It was just a matter of time when it was going to be announced. So this was talked about since I believe October or late September, I believe. But whatever the case may be. But I think what it is that, Floyd, I know a lot of people like to knock him for being being idiotic in some occasions, but I see what he's doing here. I think this is strategic why he announced this fight, because I think in part what he's doing is that he's trying to take away attention from Tyson and Jones. That's what he's doing. And I think what he's trying to do, he's announcing this on the day that he takes, keep people, talking about that pay-per-view success.
Yeah, but Dan the Man, Tyson fought Roy Jones Jr. Okay?
Oh yeah, I was going to get to that.
That's a whole different story.
Oh yeah, that's what I was going to get to that. My thing is that Floyd wants to try to outdo Tyson because he probably can't stand the fact that Tyson's a guy who haven't fought in 15 years can come back and bring back the nostalgia of fans and new fans into the sport like he did with when he fought Roy Jones. I think part of me believes that Floyd doesn't like that. He doesn't like when the attention is taken off him, especially becoming the top American draw. So what he's doing here is announcing this, and I think he's trying to outdo Mike Tyson in the situation. This is what this is all about. Now, another thing I want to point out is this one, I want to know what the pay-per-view price is going to be. Is it going to be $80 or is it going to be $50? If it's going to be $80, I just don't see how it's going to outdo Tyson and Jones. But if it's $50, then May has a chance. But other than that, I would like to point out those who are so excited about the announcement of Floyd Mayweather coming back in an exhibition bout against a YouTuber. These are the same people that criticized Tyson and Jones' exhibition. Where is that same energy on this one? You cannot say that Tyson is...
Sorry to interrupt. Have they said exhibition? I haven't heard that word besides on YouTube. Have they said exhibition?
It's exhibition. Yeah, they have.
Yeah, that's what I
count it. I think they're going to count it on Floyd's record.
Oh, wait, hold up. This is going to be a pro fight?
No, it's exhibition.
I think this is my theory. I think they're going to count it on Floyd's record.
I understand that, but officially it's exhibition. So carry on, Dan.
Yeah, but my thing is that I just wanted to point out the double standard on those who are so excited about the announcement of this fight or propagating it. But yeah, these are the same people that criticize Tyson and Jones. So you got to keep the same energy here. You cannot say that Tyson and Jones was a horrible exhibition bout when they announced it into the conclusion of it and just say this is a good exhibition. That doesn't make no fucking sense. You cannot tell me that Logan Paul is even remotely can compete with Floyd Mayweather. Like as Apple type said, Apple as stated corrected here is like, look, Floyd is going to carry the fucking fight like he did with McGregor. That's all it is.
Now, one second. Yeah, you're dropping like a lot of F bombs here. I've got the page right now. So it's 20.
My bad.
Yeah, it's got 24.95, 39.99. Then you got the set. Like I think they got like after they've got what's it right now. If you pay for it, it's $24.99.
Oh, so it's a pre-sale price of $25? Yeah. Really? Is that the UK or is that the US?
No, this is the US. I'm looking at right now. Then they
really?
I'm looking at right now. The ticket. I think these are ticket price. Sorry, it says.
I'm about to say.
Pay-per-view. I think pay-per-view ticket prices. Then they got after
the pay-per-view is going to be like $100 HD.
Yeah. No, I'm just going through the prices. After 1 mil, pay-per-view sells $39.99. Yeah, ticket sales. Then it said from December the 29th, you got a $150.99, and then they go from was it February the 16th, 69.95, 65, 69.99. So I think they got certain prices, you go, but I think I think that's the max they can. They can't really ask for $100 on this, but so they're asking for seven.
I'll tell you something, guys. Let me say something.
Go ahead.
They're gonna beat Tyson versus Jones with the amount of money they make. No doubt about it. Because Logan Paul has a whole different fan base. Okay? And those people to hear him, he's gonna fight Floyd Mayweather, they're gonna run out and buy that. Okay? So it's not about who wins financially, but the better fight by far is Tyson versus Jones. Are you kidding me? Those guys Tyson hadn't fought in 15 years. Floyd Mayweather fought like a few years ago against McGregor and had the biggest pay-per-view. So, like, I mean, that to me, that's not the barometer of who makes more money. And I don't really care. What I care about is the sport of boxing and the fact that this is a joke.
Yeah, you know what? Can I say something here? If he's going to fight a big man, I mean, Logan Paul's a very big dude. I'm curious to see where they're going to contract the way this fight going to be. That I'm very curious about that. That's number one. Number two, if he was going to fight a bigger man, why not fight Gennady Golovkin? I prefer Floyd to come back and fight him. Golovkin is at the end of his career. He's got nothing left. I think Floyd would have came back and fight him.
I hear a lot of hate. Let me try.
That ain't no hate. It ain't no hate.
I hear a lot of hate.
No. I'm not knocking.
It's hate
I'm not knocking.
For me.
No.
I'll admit to hating it.
See?
I'm not supporting it. This is the only time I'm going to talk about it.
No. Look, this is exhibition for me. I don't care. Look, it's exhibition. I'm not going to cry.
I hate it.
But what I hear you haplotype. But my point is the double standard. If people out there, not saying you guys on here, when I'm seeing other channels are going out there hyping this up, these are the same channels that criticize Tyson versus Jones. You cannot sit there and criticize that one and say that was a horrible exhibition and yet support this one.
I was excited for Tyson versus Jones. This is a travesty, and it's going to be a blight on the name of boxing. This will go down in history.
Yeah, but here's my point, haplotype.
This will go down in history as the biggest sham ever in boxing.
Well, this is what I'm saying, haplotype. What I'm saying is that people who are supporting this, right, who are so adamant about this one, these are the same people who called Tyson versus Jones a sham. It was a travesty. It should never happen, even though that was an exhibition bout. But yet they're supporting this one, and this is why I got to get to the double standard.
I'm just making it clear that I'm separating myself from those people because to me, Tyson versus Jones was not a travesty or a sham. To me, I was excited for that and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, so did I.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. I'm with you on that one.
I'm just saying this one is a sham.
All right, in my personal opinion, honestly, dude, like at this point, Floyd Mayweather's an inactive fighter, just like Tyson and Roy Jones were inactive
Floyd
fighters.
fought 3 years ago or whatever.
Yeah, man, but he's an inactive fighter right now. He hasn't fought in 3 years, so he's inactive. He's currently not holding a belt. He's not currently have a fight schedule where it's a ranked guy or anything like that. This dude he's inactive. So if he want to earn money fighting a big money fight, let him do it. I don't look at it as a sham, man. Like it's just entertainment. Look at when George Foreman fought 5 dudes in one night. You know what I'm saying? You had Ali fighting against some Japanese wrestler. Like this has always been a part of boxing. Let's not try to separate it from what it is. Like it's the entertainment business at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we as loyal boxing fans and
I'm in the entertainment business, bro. But I'm also a huge boxing fan.
Dude, can I talk, please? We're not gonna sit here and say, you know what I'm saying, oh, this is going to count towards this record because it's not. This is just Floyd Mayweather capitalizing on a bunch of idiotic fans, casual fans. You know what I'm saying? And he sees an easy payday. So what he's going to do is go into that ring with a ski mask on like he did with Conor McGregor and carry this dude until he wants to knock this dude out. And if they fill out the undercard with some good fights, then it'll be an even better event. Let's just hypothetically say if you can get one of these rappers in the ring or, you know what I'm saying, like the Baby or something. He's known for having virtual you know what I'm saying, knockouts that go viral and stuff like that, and put him in there with somebody. Like, it'll be an even bigger money fight. Like, depending on how they fill out the card and the presentation. Like the Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, that presentation was on point. So if they could get something similar to that, I don't know who's going to be. I know Floyd's going to have his name on it, but I don't know if that same entertainment company that did the Roy Jones and Tyson fight are going to be doing this one too. But it's a huge money fight, and this is what you're supposed to do. Take advantage of
it's a whole different app. He's trying to establish a whole different app.
Okay,
I don't
so
know
if they can set
you,
up the presentation,
I don't want to disrespect you because you sound like a nice guy.
Mama, nah, appetite. He's first off, yeah.
I'm not going to disrespect anybody.
No, that's cool. Appetite. 1 minute.
But
I'm saying,
I think what you just said.
Appetite. You're not listening. Appetite. You're not listening. Appetite. You're not listening. I guess Kyle, and obviously you're the appetite. But what I'm saying is this, is that, like, you know, I've realized this, you know, appetite is coming from an offensive point of what he expects of boxing. Kyle trying to make the fans, because remember we're talking live, so other people who are listening. My people, to bridge this, you look at MMA taking the market and changing things up and trying to get the avenue. I think in this respect, when KSI, Logan Paul, you see they see the MMA, they realize they don't probably want to do that, but boxing, they're bringing light back into boxing, giving boxing a new way of trying to give it to a new audience, right? So when they do these little exhibition fights with these YouTubers, basically they're making boxing all inclusive, right? It gives a chance for all these other fans who don't watch boxing, because if I talk to young guys, they all watch MMA, they all watch Conor McGregor, they don't watch boxing. But what it does now you're saying, young guys, no, you should come to the boxing gym and do boxing. So if in light of them doing that and we're finding about the long history of our boxing sport, because realistically, when these young guys come and they see that, you know what, I'd rather do that. And boxing is easy to do than MMA. MMA is much harder, right? In terms of you got jiu-jitsu and all that.
Disagree.
No, okay, fine. You've been disagreeing a lot of time, but that's why I don't mind you know, everyone do that. But I think at this point, in this, right, with Mike Tyson doing that thing and getting views, we live in a new era, and it's not really about things. Got Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and on this new era, they're trying to use all the entertainment values to bring people attention to our sport. Remember, our sport in America is not the biggest thing. In England, it's quite big, but when this thing happens, this new event, I'm cool. I'm good for it. I'm a cover. I get more views ever I've ever done. And I still talk my history of boxing. When they come over, I educate the new fans. So that's what you do. You keep educating the new fans, because eventually we're going to hit the dust. And the next generation is going to have to carry the sport. So in my opinion, when they see Mayweather doing it, because Ali did this, if you understand, Ali fought Anuki.
Ali didn't do this.
Ali fought the Japanese guy when he was still
Ali fought in a wrestling match against a Japanese guy. And that guy fucking hurt
that was seen as a joke, at the time, because a boxer versus a wrestler, right? So now what you're seeing now is a YouTuber, right, who's actually trying to do boxing against a real live pound for pound champion. That's what if there's a demand for it, then they're gonna pull it on. And no fun nothing. Let's talk about Oscar De La Hoya, right? So Oscar De La Hoya was at the top of his sport and is credited. Now Oscar De La Hoya looks on Floyd and says a joke in a circle. The next thing you know, he turns around and says he wants to fight Conor McGregor, because you know why? They getting paid, and also their name's still current with a new young audience, and they're gonna get paid. And they're working on people's English, but like what Kyle, if they can bring some like Gervonta Davis on the undercard, and they say Gervonta Davis versus one of the top fighters, are you not gonna watch it? I'll watch that thing. So there's always negatives and positives. Go ahead, someone else jump in. Go ahead.
Bro, I already said it's gonna be a financial success. There's no doubt about it. This is a very brilliant financial play. But again, it goes to the point of Mayweather being a great financial person and thinking financially and not in terms of legacy. In terms of legacy, dude, this is a joke. This isn't Ali versus Bushido. He already had his Ali fight in Japan against that kid that he knocked out in 3 seconds. Like that's a joke. Like, we're beyond that point now. We're past the point of no return. This here is just a joke. It's a S in the face of every boxing fan that really cares about boxing. Why doesn't he fight a boxer? Like Like
Chris,
Dan
not
the man
saying.
said, Gennady,
Yeah.
but Gennady isn't the guy. Like he can fight Pacquiao. He can probably beat Pacquiao and make just as much money. Pacquiao's ripe right now to get knocked out by Floyd. Why doesn't he do that?
Well, let me just say this. Let me say this, Haplo.
Danny
Yeah,
Garcia. At least fight
yeah.
Danny Garcia. Fight someone who knows how to fight. Don't fight Logan frickin' Paul, who's a joke just because he's a YouTube star and because he has 1 million followers. Yeah, you're going to make a lot of money, but you're crapping on your own boxing legacy, period.
Let me say this. Let me say this real quickly here. Khalil and Haplo Type, you both make great points. Now, I want to get back to the point of this being an exhibition. If it is an exhibition, as it is said on paper, I'm not going to knock Floyd for that at all. I'm not going to do that at all because an exhibition is not to really take this. It's nothing to really to get so serious about. That's number one. However, like I said, though, I want to point out the double standards of people who want to crap on exhibition about stuff and right. You can't say, oh, just exhibition about why you complaining and then go around and say that this is a horrible exhibition about. You just can't do that. That's why I'm pointing out to the other side. Another thing I want to add, though, I will say this, though, EJ. If I find out that they changed this into an actual professional bout where it's sanctioned by the WBC or the IBF or the WBA or the WBO, I'm definitely crapping on this one. You're going to see some fire coming from me, bro. Because,
let me ask you a question. Why then? Like, that's good. Like, yeah.
Let me explain why. First things first, you're fighting a novice, okay? This is a guy who has no fucking experience whatsoever. Don't give me the KSI fight. You could mention Conor McGregor. Yeah, he's 0-1, number one. Conor McGregor, I know people are going to bring that up, but at least Conor McGregor was a sanctioned fighter for many years, and he had a bit of a boxing background. There's a major difference. So I find out this is a professional bout, Floyd's going to get it. I'm sorry.
Let me ask a question. This is what I look at it, yeah?
Yeah.
Now, even though, because you're talking on the aspect that Floyd's going to whip his ass and do something to him, I look at it like this, yeah? It's the opportunity, yeah, because Floyd keeps putting his neck out there that one day someone's gonna get him, and it might be this young guy. Because let's look at it like this: Floyd does this thing, right? And it
ain't gonna be Logan Paul.
Okay. I'm just saying, say it's Logan Paul, right? Because obviously, you know, Dan don't like Floyd, and obviously whatever. But let's say Logan Paul puts Floyd on his back, yeah. You know what I mean? Then what? It's like,
I don't like Floyd either, but he's not losing to Logan Paul.
People will say it was worth their money just to see Floyd back. It's like, but do you understand that? See, the people, what it is, this is working on your ignorance. That you two are played right into the hands of it because you're passionate. You're so passionate against the whole thing. This is why these things happen. Right? See,
wait, hold up, EJ. I never say. Wait, hold on. Let me hold up, Apple. Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that, Apple. Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that. Let me respond to that. EJ, I just said clearly that I have no problem if this is an exhibition bout as it stands. Wait, hold up. As it stands right now, I don't care. If it's exhibition bout, by all means, go for it. It's not a sanctioned fight. But if I find out they're going to turn this into a sanctioned fight, yeah, that's my whole point. You get my drift on this. So that's what I'm saying. I'm
telling you, I don't mind it. I'm telling you, I don't care if it is. I don't care if either way. I'm telling you, I'm gonna support it.
That's fine. You can do that.
I'm gonna tell you, and you can't. Either way, my man's getting paid, and you even.
That's fine. It's all about getting paid. That's cool. But let me ask you this.
You know what? Dan, you're gonna get paid because you're gonna be out on your channel saying, terrible. You getting paid.
Well, I'll watch it. I'll definitely watch it. But let me just tell you this. Well, let me ask you this. EJ. Since you support this, give me a justification why this should be a professional bout.
Because I like watching Floyd. And
No. Wait. Why should this be more of a professional bout than an exhibition bout? Come on, tell us right now.
Because I like people getting their ass whipped. I like. Bro. And you know what? Let me think that Dan, if two people fighting in the street, yeah, and I know them, I'll sit in my window and watch them with popcorn. I like people getting their ass whipped, bro. That's what I like. And now if it's two people, look, no one really likes Logan Paul because I think he went to Suicide Forest, yeah, and this guy hanged himself, and he was kind of mocking the thing when this kid kind of hanged himself in the forest.
That's not why I don't like Logan Paul. I don't like Logan Paul.
Let me finish what I'm saying. Appetite,
frat boy douchebag. He's not a boxer.
Appetite. You're gonna learn some restraint. Yeah, let me finish what I'm saying, and then you can finish. Yeah. So that's why people don't like Logan Paul. People don't like Mayweather because he wasn't given the fights that people want. Yeah, he does what he wants. He does this and does that. People don't like it. But let me tell you something. When it comes to entertainment and it comes to boxing, I'm a boxing fan. I watch it regardless. And I could critique it if it's a rubbish event or whatever. But at the same time, we're talking about it's gonna change. He's still the guy in our sport, and you're right, Dan. What you said was 100%. He's trying to take attention from Tyson. That's good. So Tyson comes back and say he's gonna do exhibition with Lennox Lewis or Anthony Joshua, and we keep going on and we keep doing, because all this does is take attention from MMA, right, and put the money back into boxing. Habitat, I think you want to ask me a question. Do I support? Yes, I support this. What else question you want to ask, Habitat? I think you had another question for me. Go ahead.
I'm surprised at you, man. Honestly, I am surprised at you.
I love history.
I have a lot. Hey, wait, no, this isn't funny. I have a lot of respect for you, EJ.
Yeah, good.
This is a joke. This is not a good fight. This is something that you should not support, in my opinion. But you're your own man, and you have a right to do whatever you want to do.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Appetite. You see, the thing is, this is the thing, right? Yeah, I respect your opinion, and you definitely don't know what you don't care about, don't want to talk about. But I appreciate. That's why I appreciate you coming on, giving your voice, because you know what, Happaside? There's a lot of people who feel the way you feel, and they'll feel the way Dan is, and the way Kyle is, and that's why we debate, and we always debate things we don't agree with, and that's how we get along. We respectfully disagree with what's happening.
I'm really surprised.
Yeah,
honestly,
I was listen. You see, the thing is, yeah, in terms of a boxing guy, I like various sports. I talk about various topics on my channel, and I instinct when it comes to Jake Paul and this guy against Paul, you knew it was going to happen. Whether it is, so I'm just going to support it. If it was a guy or something I didn't like, it's not going to affect me in my life. And Floyd Mayweather always gets views, so cover it. If Floyd Mayweather gets knocked out. This is what I'm saying. This is sometimes you watch these things, right? If Floyd Mayweather gets knocked out by this guy, it'll be the most thing ever watched thing on the internet, bro. And you know what I say to myself? You deserve it, Floyd, because you shouldn't have gone in there with your far self, right? And then you can say, oh, well, that's what he gets for it. If Floyd goes in there and whoops his ass and gives him a beat, I'll say, yeah, Logan Paul, sorry, you shouldn't have got in there with Mayweather. That's what you get. Either way, people are gonna watch it. So, and I mean, I'm gonna support it. So that's my. Kyle, what's you saying? What's your take, Kyle?
Fair enough. What? Can I say something before Kyle? Go ahead.
Wait a minute. Kyle, go ahead, Kyle.
Okay. Go ahead, Kyle.
I think you kind of hit on it. You didn't really go too in depth with it when you talked about Floyd having all these lackluster fights with Pacquiao and et cetera, et cetera. I think this is just another way for Floyd to put on more exciting fights. I mean, yeah, he's past his prime and everything like that, but I mean, this will be an exciting fight. This won't be Floyd outboxing this dude, you know what I'm saying? Technically beating him and all that. Like, it's going to be Floyd with his high guard coming towards Logan Paul being a bigger fighter with no boxing skills at all and picking this dude apart, man. Like, it's going to be an exciting fight to watch. I think Floyd going to demolish this kid, but Floyd is going to allow Logan Paul to hit him a few times to bring more excitement to the fight. Like, he set it up to McGregor. He said, I owe the fans for the Manny Pacquiao fight. So he carried McGregor, all the way up until he knocked him out. He's going to do the same thing in this fight. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I agree with that, Khalil. I agree with that. But, like I said, though, I know what he's doing, and I can't knock him for him. I know I have to repeat myself. It's to take away the attention from Tyson, I know. But, hey, it's healthy in a way because, look, if Mike Tyson come back and outdo Floyd Mayweather after being out of for 15 years, and Floyd doesn't like that, okay, it inspires him to go out and do this. Fine, fair enough. But it's not going to last very long because Mike Tyson's going to announce another big fight coming up, and you best believe he's going to outdo a Floyd fight any time of the day. That's a fact. So I just think that, look, if it's an exhibition to Apple, I know I agree with you saying, bro, but if it's an exhibition, we can't really knock it. But that's your opinion. But if it's a pro bout, I can see where you're going, bro. I can see where you're coming from on this one, bro. I really do. But another thing I want to point out is this. There's a couple of people in the MMA circle not really happy about this fight. Ariel Helwani, for example, who's always been a critic. But Ariel Helwani is like, he doesn't think this is a legit fight, to be honest with you. He just doesn't see how this fight is even going to come about because me personally, I'm just interested to see what weight they're going to fight at, because Logan Paul is not a small dude. He's goddamn a big cruiserweight. He's goddamn nearly 200 plus pounds out of the ring. So, and he's muscle. So how's he gonna? If they're gonna fight at middleweight? I mean, goddamn, he's got to lose like 30 pounds.
You know what? Errol One, he doesn't like it because it takes away attention from MMA. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Because remember again, this is what I'm trying to say to you. MMA has cornered the market, and what they've done in reinventing themselves. Now, boxing in this respect, when they do these little things like what Mike Tyson did the other day, they're reinventing themselves. Like what Kyle said about the show. That show was spectacular. One of the best events I've ever seen. Now, imagine that kind of event on a boxing thing where people thought are credible. Where you got artists, rap artists in between. You haven't got the promoter where it's all about the promoter. You know what I'm trying to say to you? So I see boxing reinventing himself, and you got these new people coming into the boxing, like you got the Zone and the normal guys we have who kind of get on our nerves and stuff like that. So I look at it like this: is like is it a boxing event? It's not the boxing event you want. Floyd's playing around, trying to outdo Mike Tyson, and he might get his eye standing to him. You're right. Is Floyd gonna fight cruiserweight, whatever the weight they're gonna fight at? Jake Paul demands money because when he comes in, right, he wants certain cuts. So they've obviously sorted out how much money they're gonna get. They've already organized it. This is the website, by the way, that I'm showing in the background. They've already worked all that out. They worked out how much they're gonna get, and whether they're gonna knock each other out, and they're gonna work on people's ignorance and get paid. And our Errol Hawani looks at it, it's like, well, you're taking away viewers from we're taking away viewers from MMA. But at the same time, Mike Tyson had MMA guys. I think he had, what's his name?
Israel Asiana. Yeah, he was commentating.
Yeah. Because Mike Tyson messed with MMA and he realized I like MMA and I like MMA, right? I watch boxing.
Yeah.
I just don't like the idea that people are taking away from our sport, but our sport's still credible. It's just another thing, and our sport, it has to evolve into entertainment through these media outlets. That's the way.
Can I say something, EJ? To your point, though, you may be getting to a credible sense here because Dana White has just announced his super boxing promotion, so he's signing fighters as we speak. And the idea, since we mentioned Israel Adesanya, for example, I like the fact that he commentated that night on Tyson Jones. He actually knows what he's talking about. He actually knows the sport, looking from the outside in. So he actually knows what he's talking about. He knows how to assess the fight. I like to see him commentate boxing more often than he does it, even though he is a UFC fighter. But I like to see him around commentating more often because he definitely knows what he's talking about. If Showtime CBS can hire him full time to do that for PBC fights, that would be good. I think he should be there, to replace, Paulie Malignaggi and so forth.
Oh, no.
I think Israel's good, man.
I like guys doing their thing, but he's primarily an MMA champion. And let me tell you something, it's good that he comes over because people in boxing maybe don't know who he is, they understand, but I don't like him taking a job from another boxer, but I like them dudes come, they're friends. Remember Mike Tyson, they're all friends of Mike Tyson, so when Mike asks you to come over, they come. Now, right, almost going forward, Dana White is doing promotion, so this is all because, you know why? Because boxing has no limits to how much money. Now, Dana White coming into the sport, I kind of look at it sideways, like, is he gonna come and bring that ball stuff that he does in MMA where he's going to try and control boxing, because everyone's been trying to do it for years, but they haven't, especially because the first thing that, that actually MMA had a community like we do. They had an actual community, and what Dana White done, anyone who talked anything negative about the fighters, he had their YouTube channel took down. So there was no MMA community like we do. We have actually a boxing community. So I kind of look at the thing, these people coming into the sport where they're taking away, like the Zone, like they came in with their live stream, they kind of block all the streams that we couldn't stream. So when these people come in, they're trying to block people like us, block our voices and put their own voices. So when Dana White comes in, because he's already doing that on the MMA and make his voices the only voice, I don't want to have that. You know what I'm saying? So I like people doing their own thing, and Mayweather wants to put his flag up and make money. Yeah, more for him. Good. You know what I'm saying? Because look, Don King, that's how Don King came into the sport, right? I know people criticize Don King, but he's still primarily an African-American man who came
Correct.
into the sport and garnered some of the best fights in the boxing history. You know what I'm trying to say to you? And Ali and all these guys in there. So boxing primarily is a sport of the downtrodden. Wherever you know, wherever you come from or whatever your background is, and you can come up. You got people like Tex Rickard, you know, back in the days in the early 20s and then back in the days and all these guys in. So I like all these entrepreneurs coming into the sport and putting into the sport. You know what I mean? So I got no problem. Mayweather take in this bout, in this event, are they taking away from the sport or adding to the sport? I feel they're bringing a new generation of young people who may go to the boxing gym, say, you know what, I'm not going to do MMA. Let me go and do some boxing. That's what I feel this is going.
Fair enough. That's a fair enough critique. But you mentioned Tex Wicker. I would like to say real quickly on record, for the record, I think he sabotaged the Henry Wills and Jack Dempsey fight. That's just my opinion for happening. That's my opinion. But anyways, but yeah, I definitely don't disagree with that critique you just had. I mean, you know, again, it is calculative. You know, Floyd is trying to, you know, again, outdo Tyson. At the same time, he's trying to bring, you know, Logan Paul onto the, you know, you adding him onto the card. He has as a co-headliner, so not co-headliner, as a featured fighter, I should say. So it definitely is going to bring a lot of attention. It's going to attract a lot of eyes and ears, and you know, and gossip. So you know, as Haplo said,
let me know when I can talk.
Yeah, I'll be done in a second. So as Haplo said, though, will it outdo Mayweather versus Jones? More likely it will. You know, I can't knock it. But at the same time, if you want to look at the quality of it, that's yet to be seen at this point. You know, because we have to see what they're going to put on their undercard. But other than that, I just don't. You know, I don't know, man. Just that, you know, Tyson and Jones, that was just like a breath of fresh air. That was a nostalgia event, man. You know what I mean? Tyson coming back after 15 years and still, you know, he came back in the condition and shape that he was in his, you know, in his prime years when he was, you know, dominating, he was fearsome. You had to see that again, and he still had those reflexes. I mean, yeah, that was good to see. You know, competitive exhibition bout, great presentation, great fights on the card. So I don't know if this card can replicate that. I mean, that's yet to be seen, but you know, that's just right now. I don't know. We'll see what names they put on the card. That's all I got to say.
All right. Yes, I do think this fight will be a financial success due to the popularity of Logan Paul and Floyd Mayweather on social media. I'm not arguing the financial part of it. I get that. I'm a businessman. I understand business and why they're doing it. But as a boxing fan, I think it's a travesty. I think it's the worst, maybe the worst. I'd really have to think about it. I'd have to go back in time and really think about the worst possible travesty of boxing that has ever taken place to really compare this to. People keep talking about Ali fighting so-and-so in 1976. What they don't realize is that he fought Shavers and Burbick and Holmes after that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Like, he didn't just fight that Japanese dude and then retire again. Okay? So that's not a comparison, bro. That's not a comparison at all. Not at all.
Yeah, but why would he take that fight? Because he was getting paid for that.
He got paid for that, but then he went on and fought Burbick. He went on and fought Holmes. He went on and fought Ernie Shavers, the hardest punching heavyweight of all time by some people's standards. So is Floyd going to come back and fight? Is Floyd going to come back and fight the hardest punching fighter of today? Is he going to fight Errol Spence?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Who is he going to fight?
He's retired and
who's he going to fight after
who he's going to fight. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter to you. It matters to me.
Dude, your points that you making ain't gold, dude. You got your opinion and I got mine. He's not.
I know.
He's
and I respect your opinion. You got to respect mine.
I do respect your opinion, but when you sit here and try to short
well, you know what? It's my turn to talk. I was quiet for 15 minutes.
I've been quiet the whole time I've been on here. It's all the spectacle. It's the entertainment.
You had a chance to talk. Is it my chance now, or do you want to talk? Go ahead.
Yeah, all right, y'all. Let's just
Go
chill for a
ahead.
second.
No, if
Yeah,
you want to
that's
talk,
all.
talk. Right
Wait, hold
now,
up, Apple.
is it my time to talk?
Well, hold up. Let's do this. Let's do this one at a
Yeah,
time.
no,
So,
go
Khalil,
ahead,
if you
Apple. It's
go,
cool.
go, no, go ahead. No, go ahead, Khalil. You want to finish your
No,
point,
no,
then
I was
Apple can
saying
go.
it was no, it's his turn, so he can talk.
Okay. Well, go ahead, Apple. Go ahead and finish your point, then Khalil, you can come
All
back.
right, dude. I don't know you, and I don't disrespect you. I don't know who you are, but I've been on here for years, and everybody knows who I am. So I'm saying, in my opinion, that this is a travesty of boxing. This is the biggest one I've ever seen in my life. And I know boxing history. Trust me, bro. I know boxing history back to 1691.
Oh my god.
Okay?
Oh,
I've never seen a travesty like this.
Oh,
Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather. Are you fucking kidding me? Excuse my language. Are you kidding me? This is not a good thing. I mean, it's a good thing, yes, in terms of what EJ was saying. More new boxing fans, maybe, depending on how the fight goes, maybe.
Yeah.
More people buying. It's going to be a big seller. It's going to make a lot of money. I agree with all that. I'm not denouncing any of that. I'm not disagreeing with any of that. But in terms of boxing history, a guy like Floyd Mayweather, who's been touted on YouTube for 15 years, possibly. I don't know how long you've been here, but I've been here all 15. So for 15 years, he's been touted as possibly the greatest of all time. To go out fighting Logan Paul, a guy who's 0-1, and to have that be your crowning achievement just because you made a lot of money. In terms of money, great. Yes, you're the greatest money maker. Okay. It's going to make more money than Roy Jones versus Iron Mike. But let's just say Iron Mike was in his prime at the same time as Floyd Mayweather. There is no way Floyd Mayweather would ever make more money than Iron Mike in his prime. If they were both in their prime at the same time, forget it.
Yeah, can I say something real quickly though, just to add something? I know some people are going to make these comparisons of Mike Tyson versus and Floyd Mayweather on the idea of exhibition bouts. Because look, I understand that this is going to come up. The difference
I'm not talking about exhibitions, Dan. Though I'm not talking about exhibitions because to me, an exhibition in boxing, what is an exhibition? There's no such thing.
I hear you. Yeah, I hear you. But what I was going to point out is that Mike Tyson actually fought real fighters in exhibitions opposed to Floyd Mayweather. That's all I wanted to point out. Floyd hasn't done that. He's fought McGregor. I know he's a UFC fighter, but he wasn't a sanctioned pro boxer.
The McGregor thing had more interest for me because it was boxing versus MMA.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
At least that had some validity.
What about when he fought Ishikawa? What when he fought
nothing?
I hear you, but what about when he fought Ishikawa in Japan? A guy who was like a featherweight in kickboxing?
I agree. That was more like Ali versus whatchamacallit. I don't know.
Tony Inoki, the wrestler?
Yeah,
Tony Inoki?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But Ali versus him was like Mayweather versus the other guy. But then Ali went on to fight Shavers and Burbick and real fighters.
Holmes. Yeah, Larry Holmes, yeah.
And look what happened to him. And look what happened to him in the consequence. And what my whole point is
okay, but is Floyd going to do that? Is Floyd going to fight?
Let EJ get in, man. Let EJ get in. Go ahead, EJ.
It is my channel. Like, thank you very much. Yeah, but what I'm saying is that at the end of the day, right? Ali did all them things there, and you're putting him to that standard. And look what happens to him after, like the Parkinson's disease. You don't have to. So what Mayor was sharing you is that I don't have to. I've got 50-0. I'm making money. I still speak. I can fight whoever I want to fight. If you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't like it, don't watch it. And we can
Bro,
keep
the Parkinson's happened after the third Frazier fight. That's when they knew it. I know his daughter.
Appetite. Let me tell
I
you
know
something.
his daughter.
Appetite. Let me.
I know they knew he had Parkinson's.
Appetite. Let me show you something. Yeah. When Ali beat George Foreman after the Rumble and Jumble, real talk, he didn't even need to fight after that, bro. He could have went into thing, did what he want, and
that's
carried on.
just like saying Roy Jones didn't need to fight after. But I know when he got Parkinson's.
You're very competitive. Like let me get it out, bro. Now, right? Now I'm trying to say Mayweather, on the contrary, yeah, is well spoken, has everything going on. Like Muhammad Ali wasn't well spoken, hasn't got no symptoms or anything go along. But the longer Mayweather, this is why I say the longer he puts himself, because really and truly, even though you guys say he should,
so is Sugar Ray Leonard, who never did anything like that.
I'm gonna have to put you backstage until I finish here because you keep interrupting me, and I'm not really appreciating it. All right. So Mayweather, right, on the contrary, every time he puts himself in these positions, whether they're exhibitions or whatever, there's a possibility he can get himself hurt. Right now, you guys probably don't see that, but I know this year for a fact that you're still getting in there. This guy's are throwing punches at you. You get yourself hurt. You're older. These guys are younger. This guy's obviously got weight. He don't know boxing or anything like that. He clumsy, but he's a raw strength. So Mayweather, in my opinion, is like if you get clopped on your head or anything like that, you deserve it. It's the same when Muhammad Ali fought Anoki. It's like, why are you in there with a wrestler? Like, you're a credible guy. You shouldn't have never had to do that. But why you do it? Because the same thing. It was stealing money. It was like, yo, we fight the Japanese guy. How much we gonna get paid? You know what I'm saying? That's what Ali was still on. Ali was on the same thing, and that's all this is about. All these guys are doing it because Ali carried on fighting because of money. Now, my thing is that you have the choice to watch it or not, right? And but at the same time, these guys are putting themselves on the line. Even if you don't think this guy is dangerous, the fact of the matter is these guys can still hurt each other. Appetite jumped off.
Well, let me respond to that, EJ. So good points. I don't disagree with what you just said there, man. But let me ask you this question since we're on the finances. We're discussing finances. Do you believe Floyd is kind of doing this, is trying to outdo Mike Tyson? If so, do you think he can outsell Mike Tyson?
Nah, well, you know the thing is, he's outside Mike Tyson in other things he's done. I think he's just getting. I think it's attention. He might try to. If it doesn't mean anything. It doesn't.
Well, let's say they do it right now. They're trying to go head to head, is putting on these exhibition bouts. So you think he can outsell Mike Tyson?
Well, what I'm trying to say to you is that I don't think he cares about it. He's getting paid.
I understand that, but I'm asking you: do you think he can outsell Mike Tyson?
I'm telling you, maybe I don't know. I couldn't tell you, but I want to know.
Logan Paul fight Mike Tyson.
All I know is that he's getting paid like mills, bro. That's what it is. They're stealing money.
Would Logan Paul fight Mike Tyson?
Hell no.
I don't know. I tell you what happens. I wouldn't fight Mike Tyson. I'll tell you that right now.
Would Logan Paul fight Mike Tyson?
You have to ask him. All I know is if they're gonna fight him, I'm gonna watch though.
Come on, bro.
I'm gonna still watch it. Bro.
Nah, but like I said, also go ahead. Oh, my bad.
Kyle. Let me only Kyle.
Okay, my bad.
What's up, Kyle? Go ahead, Kyle. Get your talk out. Go ahead.
Well, no, I mean, at the end of the day, I do agree with Haplo. Like, it is a disgrace to boxing, but what I'm trying to say is this dude is retired, man. Like, he's inactive. He's not going to fight no more. So why not? If you see a bunch of dumbass fans, like we was in the channel we was on earlier, EJ, you know how many, it was hundreds of people in that chat. You know how many of those people was actually picking Logan Paul to win this fight because they're impressionable, casual boxing fans who just, you know what I'm saying, they don't know no better. Like, I love the sport of boxing just like everybody on this panel. But if I got an opportunity to make maybe 20, 30 million or whatever Floyd go muster out of this fight, I'm gonna go take it. Like, because it's a bunch of dumbass people out here that actually believe this dude got a chance. So why not take the fight? If I'm a retired boxer, like, Floyd doesn't have nothing else to prove. Like, this dude has already fought everybody people wanted him to fight, with the exception of maybe Paul Williams or Margarito at the time. But like, other than that, like, this dude, he did everything that he was supposed to do in the sport of boxing. I mean, it's a couple of names here and there, man, but ultimately, this dude got a lot of world champions and Hall of Famers on his resume, and he's a retired fighter. That's just like me being a police officer, and I retire after 15, 20 years, and then I go do security work over at the club. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I'm gonna go take that easy money. You know, it's easy money, bro. Like that's the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not trying to say it's like for legacy points for Floyd Mayweather or nothing like that. Like, won't nobody give him credit for this. But if he see a bunch of dumbass casual fans, why not go get a couple of extra $20-30 million because you got a bunch of dumbass people that actually believe this dude gonna win the fight? That's all I'm trying to say.
Yeah, you know what, Khalil? Let me say this, Khalil. As much as I don't like Floyd Mayweather, but you are absolutely correct. He did,
Right.
you know. I just want to say something.
I agree with what Khalil just said. I agree with it. But in terms of, look, dude, they're gonna count this on his record, bro. They are gonna count this. It's gonna be 52-0.
That's beautiful.
Pretty soon.
Oh, wait. So this goes back to my other point, my initial point. If they somehow make this a professional bout, then I have every reason to criticize
I agree that it's all based off of me. I agree 100%. If this is, I'm totally against this. But if it's just a free fight, exhibition fight for Floyd, then yeah. But if it's actually gonna count on this record, I don't agree with that at all.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The McGregor one.
Yeah, because that was a professional bout. Yeah, that was a professional bout, not an exhibition.
I don't count that shit.
I don't either.
Okay, listen.
I do. Hey, listen,
just for a second. Just for a second. EJ, just give me 1 second.
Go ahead.
Logan Paul has a professional boxing record of 0-1. He is a professional boxer. Okay? They are going to count this.
Yes, good.
I don't care who's saying it's an exhibition.
Yeah. But listen. Exactly. Good. Let them count it. It don't matter. Floyd's legacy.
Oh man, no, EJ, come on, man. It's all about morality here. Yeah, Floyd's a great fighter, but you cannot go out. You cannot vouch this and say this should be good count as a professional bout. You can't do that, bro.
His legacy's done. It doesn't matter. It doesn't affect. Let's move on to another.
Okay. All right.
Let's talk about Errol Spence and Danny Garcia. Now, I lost money on that fight, right? Because I picked the winner, but like Errol Spence to me, yeah, I know he could have did this, yeah, and everyone's talking about the car injury, but I know he could have stopped that guy. I know he could have stopped Danny, but he was quite content just to beat Danny up, win on parts, and win unanimous decision. Danny admitted after the fight he won fair and square. But the only thing with Errol Spence, I say to me is like, yo, bro, you could have did it. This is what separates him from the other legends, in my opinion, is that, like, you know, Tommy Hearns and Len, they will go out and stop you, you know. They would actually, you know what? It's not good enough me beating you on points, yeah? I'm going to make a statement. I'm going to put you on your back and stop it. Now, I was expecting him to do that when he came out. He could have, I think he could have, but, you know, he won the fight. And, and I'm happy for him. But I just feel this generation, some of them, they can do a bit more than they can. And they didn't. But you know what? Crawford does that. Crawford makes a statement every time he fights to make an example that I'm pound for pound number one. I'm the best in the sport. And all comers are going to eat the dust. And that's probably why I feel Crawford was going to beat Errol Spence if they fight. But all credit to Errol Spence coming back from the car crash. Who wants to go next?
Yeah. I just want to say, all credit to Errol Spence, man. I mean, even though a lot of people are still criticizing the fact that he fought Danny Garcia, because Danny Garcia is not really perceived as a legit welterweight, given the fact he's a naturally smaller guy. I get that, but given the circumstances and looking at the optics of the build up to the fight, you have to take into account what Errol Spence have to come, to go through to get into where he's at right now. I mean, he came from a car crash that could have killed anyone. Mind you, could have paralyzed him. Could have, he could have suffered, internal, irreversible injuries to where he could have put his career, to a close. You know what I mean? And he was able to come back from that and rehabilitate from that over a year, and it showed that he was still able to perform at a high professional level. Yeah, he had a little bit of a rust here and there in the first couple rounds, but he was able to get the groove of things, and he was able to dominate the fight. And my hats off to the guy. He beat a top welterweight and former 2-division champion, and that's it. So hats off to him. I'm very impressed what he was able to do, man. I thought he was going to have some serious trouble in this fight. Yes, he got stunned here and there, but he was not really in trouble where he was going to get knocked out. That's not what happened in the fight with Garcia. So. And another, you got to give Earl give him a little bit more credit when credit is due, is that he was the first guy to even put a dent in Danny Garcia. I've never seen anybody else do that. Now, Sean Porter and either Keith Thurman could put a dent in Danny Garcia.
What?
And he was able to do that. Yeah, he did. Did you see Danny Garcia's face? Did you see his face after the fight? Did you see his face?
Yeah, I did, and I saw it after the Lamont Peterson fight too. And it looked
I forgot about Lamont
worse.
Peterson. Yeah, you're right. Never mind. Thank you, Haplo, for correcting me on that one. But I'm talking about at welterweight, though. Let me, at welterweight, nobody else.
I believe the Lamont Peterson was at welterweight, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a catchweight, 143.
Yeah, it was catchweight.
Okay. Yeah, Lamont did put a dent in his face. Yeah, I'm sorry, my bad, man. Yeah, Lamont did put a dent.
Danny looking like a zombie from, some movie.
Yeah, you know what? You're right, though. Lamont's probably the only one who was close to knocking him out because Danny did look like he was out of it in the later rounds. He was.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
so, let's just say that Earl is, but looking at the optics of the situation, we were all having questions on how he's going to look, how's he going to react to a punch, how's he going, is his punching power still there, or how is he going to react? That was all the questions we were, looking for going into the fight.
What did you think the answer was? Because he did get punched.
He did get punched, but let's not pretend Errol Spence doesn't get punched. He's been punched before in the face. He doesn't have the best reflexes even before the accident.
The whole man down thing. What did you think about that? Because Danny didn't look as bad to me as he did against, like you mentioned, a Mauricio Herrera, or like I mentioned, a Lamont Peterson against Errol Spence.
I would agree with you on that one. A lot of people, who ain't trying to be objective, who want to say that Errol Spence won 10 rounds in this fight. I don't agree with that. I will say that Danny. 9 rounds. I guess you're stretching it, but definitely 8 rounds he did win. But I will say this though, Danny Garcia did perform a lot better than he performed against Lamont Peterson and Mauricio Herrera. I agree with you on that one.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he did. But at the same time,
Lamont Peterson in a razor thin fight. To me, he actually lost to Herrera.
Yeah,
he lost that dude.
Yeah, Herrera, he definitely lost that fight because it was in Puerto Rico. That's his home, his native air territory. But other than that, he got the decision. But other than that, Danny, he hasn't really been impressive at welterweight. Let's not kid ourselves. And to me, if you want to get to the point, where does he go from here? I think he's going to be a gatekeeper at this point. I just don't see how he's going to get another title shot. If he does, it's going to be a very long road for him to get back into the title picture. Very long road. Now, as far as Spence is concerned, I know this is going to come up. I guess we need to discuss this now. Terrence Crawford was there that night. He was there. Yeah. And he was there in attendance. The name came up to Errol Spence. Errol Spence is like, well, why is he even coming to my fight? I'm not worried about him. I'm not worried about him. Why is he here in my fight? I don't go to his fights. And, I like Earl. I know it's too early to talk about this, but maybe not. But I would like to say this, that it, to me, seems like he's being a little evasive about Terrence Crawford. So I don't know what you guys' take on that.
Well, honestly, after his performance last night, I thought he did fairly well. I thought both of the guys did fairly well. But just based off that performance in comparison to Terrence Crawford's fight against Kell Brook, a lot of the odds have swung towards Terrence Crawford to win that fight now. Like before, it was more of a 50-50 or even 60-40 for Errol. But after that fight last night, I'm looking at a lot of channels, and a lot of people are changing their minds. They're actually pitching Terrence Crawford to win that fight now, whereas before they was kind of undecided or leaning more towards Errol.
Yeah, that is true because Danny Garcia was hitting Errol Spence quite often in that fight, even though the punch statue was a lot wider for Spence. I get that, but as I mentioned, Spence has always been a hittable guy. He always gets hit. Like Mikey Garcia couldn't even really do nothing. He couldn't really land a glove on him. That's pale in comparison to the other fights he had with Sean Porter and even Kell Brook, or even what's the other guy? When he came up as a prospect, I forgot the guy name who nearly had Spence out in their fight. That was like in the 17th pro fight, I believe. But anyway, other than that, Terrence Crawford is a much longer, rangier fighter, and he's much taller than Garcia, and he's a switch hitter. So I just don't see how Errol Spence can combat that. I know he's going to try to combat that with his long-ranging jab, but Terrence Crawford's got many weapons to beat you, and that's the thing. I don't know how Errol's going to combat that. I don't know how he's going to deal with his switch hitting style, especially if Terrence turns into a southpaw. That's the one thing I'm very curious about, how Errol Spence is going to deal with that. So, he's much quicker than Earl, and he's much quicker on his feet than Earl, and he's going to give Earl a lot of angles too that Earl's never seen before. So I don't know, man. I'm favoring Crawford to win that fight. I'm not saying about a lot.
Right now, Crawford wins the fight right now. Like, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Like, the funny thing is, I remember Mayweather, but back in the days, they asked him about Pacquiao and he was being evasive and that. He doesn't want to fight him. Like, when I look at Spence and everything like that, like, a lot of pressure on him and the way he fights like that. And I look at Crawford, he's more confident, more relaxed guy. He just, to me, I feel if they fought, Crawford gonna realize that Spence got a pop on him though, but I think Crawford probably win that fight. I think it might be one of them, the Oscar De La Hoya Trinidad kind of situation where one guy's winning easily and the next, he just lets the other guy back into the fight. So, but the thing is, right, when you see him at the event watching there, obviously he wants to fight. He shows everyone that no one can't tell me that I ain't trying to push the fight. It's up to him. He keeps running. So all the Errol Spence fans trying to say that, nah, Errol Spence, Crawford got to do this. Because, they got to say that, yo, man, why are you fighting him? Nah, I want to fight him. Why not? You're going to go to your ranch. You're going to play with your horses. You're going to do this. You're going to do that. But the man's come to your home state. He's in your hometown. And you ain't even caught. You ain't giving a holler out. So, yo, I see you up in the crowd. Yeah, I want the fight next. You want the fight next. The fans want it next. This is what we want for boxing. Yeah, he could have said that. He could have said he knew he was down there. You know what I'm saying? So, in my way, it's like he's kind of shunning the fight. And he's just going to continue fighting. He's in front of him and getting paid. Well, end of the day, he's a professional fighter. He has the opportunity to do that. But us as fight fans, we want the best fights for us.
Yeah.
But I think, maybe he feels these days are numbered.
Well, that's what I'm thinking about. Here's the thing about Errol Spence. Given from the car accident, man, I think he's more vulnerable than Crawford at this point. I think he is. And I think the longer he waits, and if he decides that he want to take on Manny Pacquiao, I still believe he'll beat Pacquiao in those other welterweights.
I don't think he beats Pacquiao.
You think Pacquiao's going to derail that fight if he were to take?
I think Pacquiao beats Errol Spence.
Well, he has a chance, but plus Pacquiao's much faster than Garcia, even though he's 41, 42.
Spence hits hard. Pacquiao's a killer, bro. Pacquiao still hits hard, bro. And you see, the thing is, they're both southpaw. But you know what I mean? I feel like when Spence takes that level from Pacquiao, I don't know what he's gonna do. Pacquiao's actually fast, man. I don't know what he's gonna do. You know what I mean?
And plus Spence gets hit a lot too. That's the thing. He doesn't really have the best head movement too.
Yeah,
so
I like Pacquiao in that fight, man. I think Pacquiao looks at Spence. He's at a car crash. He ain't 100% the same guy. I like Pacquiao in that fight.
So if Pacquiao, let's hypothetically say Pacquiao wins the fight. If he takes the fight with Errol and he wins that fight, so that'll be two young lions that he in this era, in this current climate of boxing, that he took the oath from.
Yeah.
But you think that'll put him ahead of Floyd Mayweather at this point?
No.
Oh, that's a good question.
Nope. I couldn't because
you know what? That's an argument. That's an argument that can be made, EJ.
No, because Mayweather still beat Canelo, and Canelo's the number one in the sport. Them guys are not number one, right? Canelo's the number one guy in the sport. Mayweather still beat him. So no.
Well, if Canelo wasn't even pound for pound when Floyd fought him, so what are you talking about?
He's not. What are you talking about? Canelo. It doesn't matter.
He was a number 154 guy, but he wasn't pound for pound when he fought him.
Hold up, Canelo was a young champion.
Yeah, I know that, but he wasn't pound for pound. He wasn't rated one of the best in the world. He was number one guy at 154, but he wasn't pound for pound best.
In my opinion, he beat Canelo. I don't give a shit. I don't give a ish. You beat Canelo, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that Canelo is the number one guy right now. Two, you beat the guy who's the number one pay earner. Number one pound for pound. Most people got him the number one pound for pound. So to our question, I say no. What do you say?
Well, let me say this. Okay, if you look at the optics, Pacquiao should have retired after the Bradley trilogy fight. A lot of people agree he should have. But what did he do after that? He come back. Yes, he beat Jesse Vargas. Not a great champion, I get it, but he was a champion. All right. He comes back and beat Jesse Vargas. He comes back and beat Lucas Matisse, put him in retirement. He comes back and beat Keith Thurman, a fight that many people felt that Keith Thurman was the favorite to win. He beats him and takes his undefeated record away. And then if he comes back and beats Errol Spence to take away his 2 championships, and by the way, Errol Spence is a pound for pound fighter one of the pound best fighters in the world. If he does that, it becomes a unified champion for the first time in his career. People are going to look at that and say, "Wait a minute, Floyd didn't do that. Floyd never came out of never fought on and beat along the line." Yeah, but people, he was unified, but he didn't take on a dangerous fighter like Earl Spence. But to your point though, wait, hold up. But to your point though, to EJ, to your point, I'm just saying what people will say. But to your point, Floyd beat undefeated Canelo Alvarez, who's pound for pound #1 in the world.
There you go.
And people will say, yeah.
And both the guys, so-called young lions. One of them had the messed up shoulder, and the other one had a car crash. That's why he beat them.
But some people are going to say that, well, Floyd drained a prime Canelo Alvarez. That's why he had the advantage and put a rehydration clock.
Hey, you know what's funny, right? You know what's funny? Don't take the fight then, but he took the fight because he needed the
That's
pay.
true.
All
That's
right,
true.
that's it.
Yeah.
The circumstances, and I could do that with Pacquiao, but what I'm saying is, really, Mayweather, when it comes to Pacquiao, Mayweather beat Pacquiao. That's the thing you understand. He already beat him already, and he beat Canelo, and that's that. You can't take that. So it don't matter what Pacquiao does. Mayweather beat him.
Well, this is interesting debate. This is no, Floyd won that fight. Floyd won that fight.
Tag.
No, Floyd won that fight. He won that fight. Yeah, well,
the hate is real, the hate is real out here.
Yeah, no, Floyd won that fight, man. Come on, he won that fight.
Anyone saying any differently, that the hate is real. That's what I'm saying.
No, but for real though, Pacquiao deserves all the credit in the world. If he could do that and beat Earl Spence, a prime fighher, yes, I know the car accident, this, that, and the third, but he was still undefeated.
Floyd beat him. He beat Canelo. That's it. That's a wrap. When the man beat you already.
So if Pacquiao comes back and beats Thurman, beats Spence, it beats Porter. Don't matter. Okay.
Why didn't they give
you know what? I tell you what. Yeah. You know what?
Wait, EJ. Wait a second, EJ. Wait a second. Just let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question real quick.
No. I'm talking. Yeah, I'm asking Dan's question. You can come after, all right? Now, listen. Now, the only way to eclipse, if you're asking the question, and then it happens that you go after, the only way that Manny Pacquiao can eclipse what Floyd has done is then this is what he needs to do. He beats Canelo Alvarez, right? Beats him. And
what about Gennady Golovkin?
Yes, there you go. Beats Gennady Golovkin. If you go and do them things, they beat Gennady Golovkin, and beat one of the Charlos, then it's over. Then it's like, no, this guy's good. This guy's the one. But he ain't gonna do that. So go ahead.
All right, cool.
Okay. You're talking to a guy who already has been complaining about Pacquiao for a long time. Pacquiao completely screwed everything up by not fighting Berto and taking away his belt a long time ago. He could have been undisputed. Instead, he fought Shane Mosley. That was a dumb move. It was all about money and not about legacy. So he could have had all the belts if he had just taken on Berto, and I was all over YouTube. I don't even know if you guys were even on here back then, screaming, don't fight Mosley, fight Berto. Okay, so I'm not in favor of one guy or the other. All I'm saying is I think Pacquiao has done more in this last few years as far as fighting Thurman and other people like that than Floyd has done fighting McGregor's and now Logan Paul's. So this joke, and I don't even really want to talk about this because I think we were on a different subject. Weren't we on the Crawford and Spence subject?
Yeah, we're still on it right now. We just wanted to incorporate.
Did we veer off into a Pacquiao conversation?
Well, the reason why we did that because if Pacquiao, look, we're saying that because Earl Spence.
I'm sorry, I can't hear.
No,
you.
I'm sorry. The reason why we're saying we brought up Pacquiao. Yeah, can you hear me? Apple, can you hear me? Yeah, something wrong with your audio, bro. EJ, can you hear me?
Yeah,
guys.
Yeah, I can hear both of
you. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
the
what I
original
was saying.
Subject that you guys were talking about veered off into a Pacquiao thing, but what was the
reason
original
why?
Subject? So
the reason why we brought Pacquiao up is because Crawford fight with Spence may not happen right away.
Anyway, Pacquiao's still fighting and still beating big time fighters.
Yeah, what I'm saying
Mayweather
is,
isn't.
yeah,
So,
what we're saying is
that's
that
the bottom line with that.
Right,
But I
get
thought we
that.
were talking about Spence and
We are.
Crawford,
We're saying
weren't
is
we?
Sprint the possible. Yeah. We're talking about the possibility of Spence versus Pacquiao. Should
Hello?
Pacquiao? Yeah, Afflo, man. What's up with your audio, bro?
Connection is going bad.
Yeah, you need to come out and
Hello?
come back in, man. There you go. Yeah. As I was saying, but to your point, I forgot to throw in Adrian Broner because he beat him too. But anyways, if he could come back and Pacquiao, in terms of Pacquiao, if he beats Earl Spence, beats Crawford, beats Porter, then beats Gennady Golovkin, then you would say that he's eclipsed Floyd Mayweather. EJ. Okay.
That's my opinion. That's a lot to do. There's a lot to go, lot to package. But what I'm saying, I knew he could beat. I think he beats Thingy. I think he could beat Triple G. I thought Pacquiao. I think they could fight because Triple G said he could fight Mayweather at 154. So I think that fight can be possible. Now the Charlo brothers, one of the Charlos is at 154, and he's got quite a few belts, so that could happen as well. And the Canelo one's a bit harder because Canelo's already up in that middleweight, but that would be like a super fight. You know what I mean? So Pacquiao could do that, but like he don't need to. I think he's already cemented his career. And even if he does all that, then some people say, well, Floyd is better than him. But the thing is, he's a Hall of Famer. These are both Hall of Famers, and like they can do that. Like I said, and when it comes to these things and what Mayweather's doing, it's like, yo, you do what you want, man. If you want to watch it, if you don't. I just think even like there's not I couldn't do physically to do it. I'm just gonna sit back, my popcorn, watch see the spectacle, and then I go watch some other fights, and I go watch some MMA, and I just roll in, man. I don't really take it that seriously, man. That's just me, innit? Dan's jumped off, innit? Kyle.
No, I agree 100% with you, bro. I don't know if Manny at this advanced age is going to take a Canelo fight. His fans won't allow him to anyway. He's going to say he's too big for Manny, and Manny's already a small 147 fighter. So I don't think that fight logically makes sense at this point for Manny
anyone
Pacquiao.
talking? Because I can't hear you guys.
Yeah.
Appetite. You can't hear us now. Yeah, go ahead, Kyle.
Yeah, no, I think Canelo should focus more on, the Benavidez, the Caleb Plants. He got a fight with Caleb Smith coming up, so that's a nice fight for him. I don't mind that fight. There's a lot of people crapping on that fight, but I think that's a pretty interesting fight. I think Canelo will win the fight, but ultimately it's a good fight considering he had a long layoffs. So he get past Smith, and then hopefully he'll fight Caleb Plant. I think he should just campaign at 168. He doesn't need to go down and fight Manny Pacquiao and all of that stuff because he's already making really good money depending on no matter who he fights. So just stick to that trajectory and allow the 147 fighters to figure out that mess down there. I mean, thank God we're finally getting quality fights. I mean, the fight last night, was a pretty solid fight. It wasn't the best fight at 147, but I mean, with Errol coming off the car crash, it was still a pretty decent fight. And hopefully he can fight Terrence Crawford or, Ugas or whoever he plans on fighting next. And, just stick to cleaning out the division, man. He has work still to do at 147. I heard him saying that he wanted to go up, and fight after Pacquiao, he wanted to go up and fight Canelo. Errol Spence said this, but why would you do that? Like, you still got work to do. Like, try to become undisputed at 147, you know what I'm saying? And then maybe go up and get a Canelo fight. But he doesn't need to do that without cleaning out the division first. Like, you still got a lot of food to eat down there, man. So, I think he should just, stick to that. And the other fights that come, like, how old is Errol Spence? Like 30, 31 years old? Like, it's not like this dude is a spring chicken. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think it'll leave a bigger mark on his legacy if he goes undisputed, because if he fights Canelo, I think Canelo's going to knock him out. He's going to get knocked smooth out, man. So,
yeah, I think so as well, man. Appetite, you back? Appetite. Oh, I guess he's got some audio.
Yo, I'm back.
Okay,
now I remember what you guys were talking about that I wanted to jump in on. I was just trying to give everybody equal time. The original thing was Spence versus Garcia last night. And what I saw last night was a Spence that did not look as good as the Spence before he flew through that windshield. I'm sorry to say it, and I hate to say it, but I got to say it. He did not look as good as the Spence who flew through that windshield. You know, Porter took him to hell and back, and he was able to stay in there. Now, Garcia has been humiliated before. To me, humiliated by Herrera and humiliated by Lamont Peterson, just to name two. But last night, he was competitive in there. I thought he lost the fight about, 8-4, but he was in there fighting, and Spence could not get him out of there. Now, I think personally, in my opinion, this is just my opinion, Crawford would have knocked out Danny Garcia last night. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
I could see him switching up, like just knock him out. But Spence couldn't get it done. And yes, there are people who are saying it was ring rust. But to me, ring rust manifests itself more in terms of people being able to pull the trigger. Like in terms of ring rust, a good example of that to me is when Oscar De La Hoya fought Manny Pacquiao. He saw those openings, but he was just like, and Manny Pacquiao was hitting him with combos. He couldn't pull the trigger. That's ring rust to me. But I didn't see that last night. What I saw last night with Errol Spence was a diminished fighter. He was slightly diminished from his best. And to me, that's not going to reverse itself, by fighting.
Diminished, Shit.
He's diminished. And I think Terrence Crawford was out there in the crowd licking his chops. That's what I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think Crawford thing. I think even if Spence was like that guy, I think Crawford beats him. Crawford looks so on it. But then people say, well, EJ, hold up. Who's he fought to say he's on that? Like, he shot Kell Brook, and Amir Khan was finished as well. But, they used to be good champions, but they weren't the same no more. So we're seeing it. But Danny Garcia.
But those are the fights he can get.
Danny Garcia and Sean Porter are in their prime. They ain't got nothing wrong with them. They fit, they 100%. And, like, he beat both of them. Like, so, like, the level he's fighting right now is better than what Crawford. Crawford's power, because Crawford's knocking guys out and looking spectacular. But if I fought head to head, if they fought right now, I'll go with Crawford. Like, so that's the way I see it. So I get it, but I didn't think. I feel like he could have did more. But I think sometimes Spence is just he don't do what he did to Kell Brook. Like, see, when he fought Kell Brook, right, for the championship in Sheffield, he went for it, man. He went for it. You know what I mean? Yep. I ain't seen that guy for a minute. And this is even like, before the crash. I ain't seen that. So, and when I start seeing it, like things he's doing now against Mikey Garcia, that's the way he been doing it. So he done that kind of style, what he did with Mikey Garcia. And I don't like what I'm seeing. You know what I mean? I like the way he fought Kell Brook and that thing that's going, but maybe because he knew Kell Brook had an eye injury. Is that why he rolled up like that? Because that Mikey Garcia, he was a wary. Sean Porter, he wasn't trying to kill Sean Porter. He wasn't trying to kill Danny Garcia, but he came to kill Kell Brook. I don't know why that is, but you know what I'm saying? And I ain't seen that Spence. That's a Spence I like. The one who comes to kill. The one who killed Bundu, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I ain't seen that for a minute, but I see the killer in Crawford. He goes out there to kill cats. So, but the level of competition is not the same. Go ahead, Kyle. Jump on it.
Well, I think Crawford, has more of a killer instinct towards the Kell Brook situation because of his last performance with Mean Machine, how he got dropped. He won the fight, but essentially he was embarrassed, that he allowed this dude to do that to him. But as far as Spence, I thought his game plan last night was fine to me. Danny's very susceptible to jabs, as seen in a Mauricio Herrera fight, to be specific. But I thought the heavy jabbing and the body shots were a good game plan because Danny doesn't get hurt up top. So the only way you will be able to stop Danny is by going to the body and gassing him out. But like you said, dude, he doesn't have that same killer instinct. I mean, and it was before the car crash that he didn't display that killer instinct. So I'm not going to use that as a crutch to say that's what kind of killed it. Like he was, like you said, he was fighting that way before it. So I mean, that was a performance that he needed to have, I guess, get acclimated back to the speed and stuff like that, a professional fighting. But we'll see what he do in this next fight. I don't really want to use one fight, or one mediocre performance to gauge, how he'll be coming forward or going forward. So we'll see, depending on his next fight, if he can get, Ugas or somebody that'll challenge him more than Danny did. Like those body shots caught up to Danny, man. Like Danny looked dejected. Like just watching him, go to his corner after every, round was over, he just looked discouraged and dejected. You know what I'm saying? And I've never seen Danny look that dejected before. Yeah, he had bad performances against Mauricio Herrera and against, Lamont Peterson, but for him to look, he still looked alive in those fights. Like, you know what I'm saying? He couldn't wait to get back out in the next round and fight. In the Arrow fight, he didn't look like he wanted to go back out there, bro. So, I mean, we'll see what he looks like, in his next upcoming bout. But I mean, he did get a quality win. He still does have a better resume at 147 than Terrence Crawford does. And if he can somehow land the Pacquiao fight, that'll be, his biggest fight to date.
Oh, yeah.
And,
we'll
see what he does against Pacquiao because I'm like you, bro. I think Pacquiao can beat him. He's a lot faster than Danny. He hits harder than Danny. He's more explosive. He's more athletic. He has a better, as far as ring generalship, he displays a better, display a ring generalship than Danny does. Like he knows how to move around and get to certain spots. So I think that fight is a very dangerous fight. But if he's able to win that fight, I'll give Arrow full credit for that fight. Manny's 40, 41 years old, but he beat, Keith Thurman. So he is a live dog. So I will give Arrow credit for that if he can beat Manny. But to me, I'll go 60-40 in favor of Pacquiao at this present time.
Yeah. All right. Last words in, man. Apple type. Got any last words you want to say to people on this in general? Go ahead.
I just want to clarify because I dropped off for a second. You're giving Pacquiao 60-40 against who?
Errol Spence.
Errol Spence.
Oh Lord.
Who you picking?
All right, I picked that. I pick it the other way, 60-40 Spence, just because I feel like Pacquiao's, he fought beyond his weight already to be at 147, and I don't know where that fight would be. I'm assuming 147, but
yeah,
he fought beyond his weight to get to 147 already, and you got a young, fresher guy who's, like another Margarito. To me, if I put Spence up against the Margarito that Pacquiao fought right now, the Spence I saw last night, I would put I would pick Margarito, but that was a long time ago.
You put Margarito would beat you. Margarito would beat our Spence.
That Margarito that night that fought Pacquiao, to me, would beat that Spence that I saw last night. Last night, the Spence I saw was lackluster, bro. I mean, I seen Lamont Peterson beat up Danny Garcia bad. Look at him after that fight. Herrera embarrassed him. Spence was, neck and neck with him. Like, yeah, he won the fight for sure. It's not a disputed decision. Spence won that fight, but Danny Garcia was in the fight until that 12th round. So, that Spence did not impress me last night.
Okay.
But as far as Manny Pacquiao goes, like I would say, he can do whatever he wants kind of because he's sort of already in the Hall of Fame. So, I'd like to see him fight whoever, but he's got to fight somebody. I don't want to see him fight Logan Paul. That's for sure. Can you imagine Pacquiao comes out tomorrow saying, "I'm going to fight Jake Paul on the same night Mayweather fights Logan Paul"?
You know the funny thing is, if he was retired, yeah, and he said he was going to do, I wouldn't mind. Like he's retired, like, but if he's active, because Pacquiao is still kind of active, that'd be weird. Like why would you fight him? You know
Can you imagine Pacquiao fighting Jake Paul on the same night as Mayweather fighting Logan Paul, competing for pay-per-view?
Hey, it will do well though. I tell you what, it will do well. It will do well, man.
Jake's better. Well. Jake has a better record. Jake, I think is like 2-0.
Yeah,
he's like 2-0. But Manny Pacquiao is a knockout artist. You know, Floyd is a technical boxer, so people would want to watch that fight just to see Jake Paul get smoked because they know he'll smoke him. Like if he was to let's just put Pacquiao in the same position as he was as Mayweather was when he fought McGregor. Pacquiao would have knocked that dude out in like 4 rounds. I'd give that dude 4 rounds max, and I'm probably overstating it. It'd probably be 2 rounds. He would have got him out of there so fast.
Mayweather really wanted to, bro. I think Mayweather would have taken him out in the first round. He carried that guy. I think he bet on the round. What round did he take him out?
He said 10. He said 10, and it was I think it was 6 or 8.
But what did he bet on?
I want him to beat McGregor's ass. I didn't like McGregor. And
he bet on 10.
I don't like McGregor either. But what round did Mayweather bet on?
He bet on round 10. He bet on round 10.
Yeah. And you know the funny thing, right? I want people want Mayweather to beat Jake Paul's ass, and people want Jake Paul to beat Mayweather's ass. So I mean, this guy ain't got no shot. But like you said, them casual fans you said over there, no man, Jake Paul gonna win. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, okay,
Logan. You're thinking Logan.
Yeah, Logan Paul. Hey, but your thing is, Mayweather beats one. The other brother said, I want to fight you. So Mayweather gonna beat the whole family. Next thing he's gonna bring the in. You know what I'm saying? He gonna bring the cousin. He gonna bring the great grandpappy.
I mean, I kind of root for those guys honestly because they from where I'm from. They from Cleveland, so I semi-root for them. But I just, if this is a real fight, like Haplo said, if this actually counts, win or loss towards Mayweather's record, I don't like that.
Bet you it will.
I don't like that.
It will.
Hands down, boy. That's what's up. Hey, listen, bro. It's been a pleasure as always, Mr. Hapo Type coming over, bringing that heat, bringing that recognized, respectful thing about the sport and the culture about boxing. That most boxing fans shouldn't watch it because it's a farce. And remember, got man Kyle over here saying, hey, listen, man, this is a money thing, a money grab. So I'm like, yo, it's boxing. We talk about it. We've had a debate. What do you guys think in the comment section? I'm EJ Boxing Live.
Thing is, I agree with your boy. It is a money grab, but I don't respect it.
Okay.
LA in the house. Thank you, EJ, for having me. And nice to meet you, Khalil.
Yeah, you too, Haplo fam. I appreciate you, bro.
There you go. Brother. All right, guys. Thanks you guys coming over, man. Both of you take care.
All right, EJ.
Nice one. Take care, Hapo. Take care, Kyle. Peace.
Don't waste your breath on the traitor. Let's finish him off.
Just you have a try. You aren't any match for me, you dog.
Son of a bitch!